Welcome to Going Forward, where inspiring conversations with leaders and entrepreneurs shape tomorrow. Dive into the depths of their journeys, the hurdles they've overcome, and the insights they bring to the future. Let's get moving right here, right now on Going Forward.
This episode of Going Forward is brought to you by Optimizer, the award-winning PPC management tool trusted by advertisers worldwide. Need to save time and supercharge your ad performance? Optimizer makes managing PPC campaigns on Google, Facebook, Amazon, and Microsoft easier than ever. With automation, smart insights, and powerful optimizations, you'll work smarter, not harder. Try it free for 14 days at optimizer.com/go/VIP and take your ads to the next level.
Hey, what's going on, Going Forward Nation? It is your host, Eric Elliott here, and I'm containing some excitement because I get to talk to someone that I've had the privilege of watching, for many years. Some of you may have known him as, the running back, Marcus Lattimore for the University of South Carolina, but he's a lot bigger than that. He's an artist, he's a human being and a very fine man. And before we even start recording, I want to say something to you, Marcus, and also to our listeners out there. And one of the things I want to say to you, Marcus, is thank you. I want to say thank you, and I'm going to tell you why, because, for years, they've had the joy or the entertainment of seeing you in one of your art forms, right? And I do want to say this, man, just thank you, because you've put forth a lot of effort. You tirelessly gave. I'm sure there was a lot of sleepless nights when you did what you did. And I just want all of those fans out there, anyone who screamed your name, or, wore a jersey or respected your number, also who clapped for you in your other art form and poetry as well. I just want them to know that anything you do, regardless of whatever task or whatever art form you're doing it in, that you put a lot into it. And so I want to say, before we even say one word together, I just want to tell you, thank you, Marcus. I want to tell you that. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. Yeah. That means a lot. I look back on my career and what I was able to do in the short amount of time that I did it, and I'm proud of it. Yeah, I'm proud of what happened and my teammates. Like, I got to play with some future NFL Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
And, I cherish those memories, and the fans as well. Like, I've been able to be face to face with, 50 to 100,000 people, and them tell me how much my play inspired them. So football is a vehicle. It's a vehicle that young athletes can use to impact lives, and I was able to do that.
Now, we talk about the 50 and 100,000 people, but who was Marcus Lattimore before, I guess the world got to know who Marcus Lattimore was, because you grew up in the upstate in South Carolina. I tried to get all these videos and watch, of you. I was like, I got to try and get into his psyche to see what that's like, man. But, what was it like being young Marcus coming up and playing football, and how did you develop that love for football?
Oh, man. Well, it ain't too much to do in District 5 of the upstate South Carolina. Grew up in Reedville, dirt roads, green grass, quiet town. But my brother was the guy that I looked up to, and my dad. My dad played football as well. But my brother was that guy who really struck my love for it. And, I grew up in that football town. District 5 consists of Reedville, Duncan, Startex, Lyman, and Welford. And all 5 of those towns lead into one high school. And that one high school was dominant in the state of South Carolina, and it was Burns High School. And
wow.
that was my University of South Carolina. That was my San Francisco 49ers. I didn't have to really look past where I was. You had a quote. You have a quote when your podcast comes in, like be your mind be where your feet are, and that's where I was. That was my goal, to be a Burns High School Rebel, and that love came from just playing. We played all day. We played baseball. We played basketball. We played in the woods. Um, if somebody had some bikes, we play on some bikes.
Right.
The love for adventure and using our physical bodies to get into trouble. It was that's just what we did. We just had a good time. And when I say we, I'm speaking of all of my friends and all of my friends looking at our older brothers.
Yeah.
Play the game. Heck, if we had an opportunity, we go up to a Burns High School practice just to watch them practice. Tight knit community, and I considered that a blessing. Like a lot of positives growing up in a tight knit community where, your blueprint is set for you, and you already have this built-in structure. So, we played, and then we got to a point where we got to middle school, and once you get to middle school, essentially you're a part of the high school program.
Yeah,
a
little feeder for the high school.
That's exactly what it was. We ran the same plays. We used the same football terminology.
Yeah.
The high school coaches would come down to our middle school practices and teach us different techniques that they were doing up at the high school level. And our high school strength coach, which I consider the most important man that I ever met in my life, he instilled in us a physical blueprint. He came from an Olympic lifting background, but also a mindset. He was former Marine who knew how to build excellence and knew how to structure excellent habits.
Yeah.
And, by the time we were in 8th grade, I mean, we were programmed to push through a lot of pain, push through a lot of hard things. We in the summer, I mean, we were out there, 8 a.m. Monday through Friday running sprints. And, it was just normal when we got to high school. But Coach Michael Schrock, I mean, out of all the success, I mean, I think we lost in high school, we lost 4 games in 2 years, but that success comes from our strength coach, the person behind the scenes. So, but yeah, to be a Burns Rebel, I mean, that was my only goal, because those were my heroes. All of you wouldn't know any of the names of my heroes because they all grew up in Duncan, South Carolina, and some of them went to play college, but not all of them really made it to that next level. But all of my heroes were there, and that's all I ever wanted, to be a Burns Rebel.
Isn't it interesting, like, on when you're coming up, like everyone who's had an influence, like you talk about, like your strength coach, like how all these people kind of make you like this building block. So by the time they're done with you and you get to like you said, you went to Burns and now going into South Carolina, how much of what these people taught you kind of came along with you, Marcus?
Oh my goodness. I wouldn't have had the mental fortitude to continue on my freshman year if I didn't have that foundation. The foundation was everything. I knew how to push through a hard practice. I knew how to study a playbook.
Got it.
I knew what teamwork looked like. I knew what sacrifice looked like, and we did it at a high level in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I knew what a winning culture felt like,
Right.
because of what I came from, and that really propelled me going into my freshman year, and I needed that. Like, I needed that foundation, because there were times that, although I was highly recruited, and a lot of colleges wanted me, there was still doubt. There was still like insecurity, because I always looked at my deficiencies, and
Oh,
I see that as now I look at that and I see why. Oh, okay, they were kind of training us with the mindset in high school with, how can I get better today? So like success was very like, okay, yeah, we won this game, but what's we got a game on Friday.
that's right. It's
Let,
halftime. Yeah.
yeah, let's get better. Let's get better today. And we were trained with that mindset. So I looked at my deficiencies, all like my weaknesses, on the field.
You did that all through college too?
I did that all through high school. I did it all through college, and I always thought I wasn't fast enough. So athletically, that was the minion in my mind that kind of kept
Mm.
me working really hard. I'm not as fast as these other backs in the SEC, so I have to keep pushing. And I had that doubt coming in as a freshman. But through positive affirmations from my coaches, at Carolina, the head coach now, Shane Beamer at Carolina, actually gave me a lot of encouragement when he was an assistant coach
Mm-hmm.
at South Carolina. So that kind of propelled me. And I was able to have a lot of success my freshman year, and I had a veteran offensive line as well. So that always helps.
But do you think you, with learning that and like knowing your deficiencies, you think it, and you, like you said, you weren't as fast as like a lot of the other backs like you felt in the SEC, but you think like in some way it humbled you and humbled your play?
I think that's a good way of saying it. Yeah, I wanted to always prove to myself and prove to my teammates and prove to the SEC that I belonged.
Yeah.
I had this sense of like and I feel like that's the only way you really gain respect in the game of football.
Yeah, but you never, from what I saw, you never played like a I'm a player with a chip on his shoulder kind of player. It was just like you played like this silent game where you it just seemed like you always played like a silent game, like you just let the work speak for you.
But there was still something inside of me that had this. It was this. I wasn't good enough. It was on the field. I feel like I exemplified what you're saying, but internally there was something like, man, I just cannot get to this level. Can I be what people really think I am?
Wow.
Maybe it was just this sense of imposter syndrome. Like,
Wow.
I was you would hear the whispers like, man, you're really good, and you're talented at what you do, but there's always something, like even now as a writer, but it's just like there's always something that just wasn't good enough.
Wow.
And that was, I wouldn't say it was all the fuel that propelled me, but it was some of it for sure.
I wonder if some of it's still from going back to the strength coach, because like the purpose of doing all that is to continuously getting stronger. And I'm wondering if it's going back to that, Marcus.
We were Coach Schrock, you know, I remember vivid moments in the weight room where, we'd be doing the exercise, and, it would be let's just do 5 perfect push-ups.
Mm-hmm.
But it would take us 15 minutes to do those 5 perfect push-ups because we had to do it as a whole. We had to do it as a full team,
Wow.
all at the same time on his whistle.
Mm-hmm.
And man, there'd be days where we didn't complete it, and we'd have to come in the next day. All right, let's see if we can get 5 perfect push-ups today. So I mean, it was like always a continuing push to stretch our potential.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he saw that there was more in there. Maybe he saw we weren't giving everything. But that mindset stuck with me.
Wow. What was it like? Let's just say, I mean, you went from the high school part, you go into University of South Carolina. You're hitting the weight room, you're doing all the things, the summer practices, you get ready to play the game, and then when you're walking out, I mean, what is that like, and what are you telling yourself? Because you've been telling yourself you're not good enough, you're not fast enough, you got to do more. But what are you saying to yourself when you're hitting that field?
I gotta be honest with you, Eric. I was always looking for some reassurance. I was always looking for like a positive affirmation to be received from a coach or
Wow.
a player. Um, you know, but when those lights come on, I mean, in Williams-Brice Stadium, and I mean, it's 80,000 people,
Hmm.
and it's loud and it's roaring and it's rocking.
You're
Uh,
smiling. You're smiling right now.
yeah, you don't really have a lot of time to think.
Mm.
Um, I didn't have time to think about it. I mean, it was time to perform. I had put the work in. I knew my
Yeah.
assignment. Um, the coaches said I was ready, and I don't think they would have put me out there if I wasn't ready. Like I had Coach Steve Spurrier, who he knows what excellence looks like. He's been
Yeah.
to the top of the mountain. Um, he signed off for me as the starting running back my freshman year. That was good enough for me. That's
Mm.
all I needed to hear. Like if this guy believes in me, well, heck, let's get it done. But I will say, like, I'll never forget it. My second game, my freshman year, Mo Brown was a receiver who graduated the previous year, and he was just on the sideline for the big game, South Carolina versus Georgia.
Right.
And I'm going out. Somehow, I got to a place where I was team captain that week. As a freshman, I'm going out to the coin toss, and I see Mo Brown right beside me, and he says, "All right, now you ain't a freshman no more."
Wow.
And I knew what it meant. I didn't know what it meant, but I kind of knew what he was saying. Like it's the big leagues now, and you know it's time to step up and be that guy. Be that guy who they brought you in here to be.
Hmm.
And the I had one of the best games of my career that game.
When you, great point. Now, you said you had one of the best games of your career, but when you step off the field after one of the best games of your career,
Mm.
do you still look for that reassurance, or does your internal feeling change? How does that feel for you?
Well, now there's a piece of me there's a part of me that's confident. It's so complicated, Eric, because I got these two sides of me swirling. I'm
Wow.
confident. I've done it. I broke 42 tackles against the SEC team. I
Hmm.
ran for 186 yards and 2 touchdowns. I have a sense of me that is like, I can do this. But there's also this part of me like, man, how am I going to top this?
Yeah.
Now, that voice was small. That voice wasn't prevalent, but there is a part of me that's just like, damn, now the expectation has grown to even a higher level. Like I already had eyes on me in high school.
Hmm.
We played on ESPN in high school.
Yeah.
So everybody in the state of South Carolina knew who I was by the time I was 16. So when I commit to play for the flagship university, the magnifying glass grows. And now we just beat Georgia and I broke 42 tackles.
Wow.
So now everybody knows who I am. And I can't go anywhere anymore after that game without people knowing who I am. So I have to, as a 19-year-old, I'm thinking like there's a part of me like, how am I going to live up to this expectation? There's a part of me that's loving the attention. And there's a part of me that's also confident that I can do this. So it's a complicated mix of emotions happening.
Yeah. So was it hard for you to, like you said, Mo Brown said to you, all right, you ain't a freshman anymore. How hard is it for you to gain the respect of everyone else? You like you said, you got veteran linemen, and here you are, this kid coming out of Duncan, 19 years old. How do you gain their respect?
Running hard, running my ass off, practicing hard. There's not a lot of words that can be said. I mean, you hinted at it earlier, like I was that guy that really didn't talk much. I had this humble presence and it was real. So I understood that being an example of what hard work looks like speaks louder than words. I mean, I saw a quote yesterday, like nobody really hears what you say. They only feel what you radiate. And I guess when I hear that quote, I said, when I hear that quote and I think about this question, what did I want to radiate? I wanted to radiate, work ethic.
Yeah.
And toughness. So yeah, that veteran offensive line, 3 seniors, I think 2 juniors, who hadn't had a lot of success at the University of South Carolina. There was a part of me that wanted them to go out their last year and sail off into the sunset and have a good year. So a selfless presence is something I wanted to exemplify.
That's good. Good. That's good leadership.
Through hard work.
It seems like you really pay attention to quotes, Marcus. You've mentioned quotes twice since we've been talking. So is that like some level of maturity, like another level of maturity? Because we all hit it at some point. Or do you feel like you just have like your other eye open now, where you just are so aware?
Oh, that's so good. I didn't understand the power in language 10, 15 years ago, the time period that we're discussing right now. I didn't understand the power of language, but my eye was open to it. Now, it's 33, deep into my craft, my daily craft of journaling and poetry.
Yeah.
The antenna is always up.
Wow. Is it like just things are just feeding you, or you're allowing them to come in now?
They're feeding me, and those become my subjects for the day. So your quote that I saw, it's in my consciousness now. It'll be in my consciousness all day, and I'll see it play out.
Yeah.
Throughout my daily interactions, and it'll become my next piece. So like, I'm just open. I'm attuned to literature. I'm open to where it takes me, and I just allow the pen to create. So yeah, I would say I'm attuned to it now.
Hold tight, listeners. We're taking a brief pause. Going forward, we'll be back shortly with more insightful conversations.
Running your law firm is a serious business. When you actually got out of law school, they didn't teach you how to market your business, or they didn't teach you exactly the business of running a law firm. And that's what we do. We want to be able to come in and work with you and your firm so that, one, you can start marketing your firm correctly, coach you on how to get to the next level and where you want to get your law firm. And most importantly, we don't want you to be one of those law firms who are a laughing stock of the community. Don't hire a marketing agency that's going to make you look like a buffoon online or social media and try and make you to be something that you are not. It's time for you to start running your firm the right way. Go to VIPmarketing.com.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Ho, H to the O-V. I used to move snowflakes by the OZ. I guess even back then you can call me CEO of the ROC. Ho, fresh out the frying pan into the fire. I be the music biz #1 supplier. Fly it in a piece of paper bearing my name. Got the hottest chick in the game wearing my chain, that's right.
If your company feels like chaos and finding anything is like solving a mystery, get Trainual, the app that turns all your scattered company knowledge into an organized playbook, where every employee question has an answer, just a simple search away, where all of your processes and policies are documented, roles and responsibilities are defined, and delegating anything is as easy as drag and drop. Trainual, it's how you get your operations under control and how you deliver the ultimate onboarding and training experience.
Welcome back to Going Forward. We hope you're recharged because we've got an exciting second half waiting for you. Get ready to dive deeper and be inspired. Let's keep the momentum going.
Marcus, you feel like when you look at, like, football, and I want people to know all these amazing things that you're doing, that it's beyond the ball, Do you look back at football and are you happy with it? Are you sad about it? Are you mad at it?
I went through every stage that you just said.
Damn. Please explain that. I want to understand that.
Yeah. I'll start with where I am now. I honor my experience because of the platform that it has given me to minister, essentially. I come from, my first poets were Southern pastors and Southern preachers. Those were my first poets and coaches, Southern coaches. So I see what I do as a form of ministry, if I'm truly being honest.
Mm-hmm.
So I honor my experience now, and I celebrate it now. I celebrate what I was able to do and the experiences that I had in recruiting, in real-time action, the teammates that I was able to play with.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a beautiful thing. When I first retired, and I was going through some post-retirement blues.
Oh, yeah.
I was resentful of my experience, attempting to excommunicate myself from the game of football because it didn't end the way that I envisioned it. It didn't end the way that I planned it. I was supposed to be the replacement for Frank Gore for the San Francisco 49ers. I was supposed to be in the 10,000-yard rushing club. I was supposed to be an all-pro. All of these things were supposed to happen to me, and they didn't happen. So I was envious of players that I knew who were in the NFL, and I was resentful towards my experience, and that led me to over medicate with cannabis, and got to a place where I was drinking. I had never been a drinker. I got to a place where life was just, I was attempting to escape from what was. And that was just, I don't know, it was just a dark period in my life that I hid very well. I was very skilled at concealing that part of my life. So I went through that stage. There was some anger in that stage as well. The anger came from, I would say the anger was actually during my experience when I had my 2 major knee injuries. You know, in 2011, when I tore my ACL, I mean, I'm on my way to a Heisman Trophy. I was pissed off. The next year, I had recovered. You know, I'm only a few games away from being a first-round draft pick, and I completely destroy my right knee, every ligament, tear my calf muscle and hamstring. I'm angry. I'm angry at God. I'm angry at the opposing team. I'm angry at football. I didn't want to play anymore. I went through that phase. It's been complicated. I mean, it's just a lot of different emotions that I've had to sit with and, you know, experience. I mean, it was hell at one point, you know, but, you know, everybody, you know, goes through some form of hell while they're living. And mine came through the channel of football. I love the game, but I also hate the game. But I also adore watching the game. Like the relationship I have with the game is forever. It's forever a part of me. But you know, at the age of 33, I honor it for what it was. It was this evolution process that allowed me to stand where I am today. And I know I got a few. I mean, I'm only 33. I'm young. I'm still learning, still growing. But
Yeah.
that experience really, really shaped who I am.
So you said you went and it was a hell. How did you get out of the hell? Because how did you get out of the hell, Marcus?
I had to walk around in it. Walk around in hell. I had to stay there for a little bit and recognize that this ain't where I want to be.
Yeah.
I was drowning in destructive behaviors, looking for somebody to come save me when that wasn't going to happen. I will say that, you know, looking at myself, looking inside myself deeply, like reflecting on who I was and where I'd been and what I was experiencing, it you know, it showed me that I have the power, like there's power inside of me. You know, and there were seeds that were planted a very long time ago, you know, like just what we were referring to, like in high school. You know, I knew how to get through hard things.
Yeah.
Knew how to overcome adversity because of my past and because of the game of football. So when I talk about that hell, I mean, I think I'm referring to that post-transition phase of life where I'm in limbo and I'm asking, who am I outside of the game? Because I don't really know who I am. And I really wanted the answer to that question. And it took me escaping, and
That's a hard place.
it's a hard place.
That's a hard place. You know, you said you had to really walk around in it, but it's like at some point, it's like if you ever seen like The Dark Knight, and he falls down the hole, but somehow he has to get back up and like getting through it. And it's like, okay, you still got the bats going around you, you're still in the place that you're in, but at some point, you have to close off the world and pull yourself up, or
Yeah.
close off whatever's around you, because that hell that you're in, at some point, it's hot. Man, it's hot. You know what I mean? And it'll make you say things, it'll make you feel things, it'll make you do things,
Yeah.
and it's like, that's where I was like, how did you get out of it? Because it's not like, all right, how do I put it, Marcus? It's not like things happen to you in private. Things happen to you so publicly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like the world watched you at one point get hurt. And then Marcus now has to be strong enough and say, I got to pull myself out of it. That is a hard place, dude. How did you find that damn strength to do it? Because there's somebody, they don't have to be an athlete. They can be in the business world. They can be wherever, but they had to pull themselves out of the hell.
Well, it's not easy. I'll just go ahead and, start and say about that. It's not, it's not an easy thing to do.
Mhm.
It takes a lot of courage to look inside yourself and realize that, man, life is not it's not going to be how you envisioned it. It's not
Right.
going to be how you pictured it.
Right.
And accepting that reality, and almost rehumbling myself, like rehumbling myself again, to realize that I'm gonna have to start over. I'm gonna have to start over and become a beginner again. I mean, accepting that reality.
Wow.
So first I would just say, understand that the fight is going to be, it's going to be a fight. It's going to be tough, to come out of that pitfall, to come out of that hole, whether it be the loss of your family or the loss of your job or a divorce, or those things that just hit you hard, the loss of anything.
Yeah.
It's going to be that grieving process. I had to go through that grieving process of losing that thing I love since I've been 7 years old, that ball that I've been carrying. And I had to sit with the grief of knowing that I can't do this anymore. And grief comes in many different ways, different stages. You don't know when it's going to hit you, but accepting that reality and knowing that you're going to have to become a beginner again at something.
When you see the game now, what feelings do you have when you see the game now? Because I want you to answer that one, because I got a follow-up question for that. When you see the game now, I mean, what does that internal Marcus feel like? Is it still that love for the game? Is it that grief? Or is it, you know what, I'm pissed at this game?
Physically, there's a knee-jerk reaction anytime I see a pile. I will say that.
Yeah.
So I have a visceral experience
Mm-hmm.
when I'm watching the game of football. Anytime a pile happens and somebody's leg is going the other way,
Mm-hmm.
my body, because of what happened, reacts to that. But once I get over that, once my emotion lets go and I let my body know, okay, it's okay. Eric, I got to be honest, it's a poetic, beautiful game.
Wow.
It's beautiful now, the way I see it. And when a running back takes his steps and the offensive line is moving and he weaves behind that offensive line, it's just, I see it from a poetic perspective now.
I love to see, like, when you're doing the motions with your hand, like how you smile when you talk about the game. Like you said, you've been doing it since you were 7 years old. What's one of the biggest lessons you think you got from the game?
Through practice and repetition, muscle memory takes over and you can fall into a state of flow.
Mm.
And I carry that with me in my spoken word practice. I write, I edit, I memorize. I step on stage, I fall into a state of flow. And that state of flow is where time ceased to exist.
Mm-hmm.
So the power of repetition,
Wow.
the power of practice, it's just the law. It's like Steph Curry, who has, 2 hours after every practice, he's just putting up threes, and it's really, he doesn't have to look at the rim anymore. It's just his wrist.
Wow.
The wrist, and he can turn around before the ball even goes into the rim, and he knows it's going in just because he's done it 100,000 times. That right there, it's applicable to any discipline. So the power in that, but also, just working towards something bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing to be working towards a goal with a community or other individuals who are working towards that same goal, something bigger than you.
I had the privilege and pleasure of seeing you play in person, and that was great excitement, but there's nothing better than having this conversation with you right now. So I appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Take care, man. See ya.
See ya.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to rate our podcast and share it with a friend. Every share, every comment, every rating propels us forward. For more content, insights, and updates, visit ericelliott.com. Remember, your journey, your story is what keeps us going forward. Until next time.